Bulls Nation, after seeing another close game fly by us within the clutch, today's video I want to discuss a little bit about Zach LaVine and how we are able to manage that fourth quarter stretch where we are wasting opportunities, finding poor shot selection and ending up losing game after game after game with a tight affair. So without further ado, let's talk about Zach LaVine, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls, and let's talk about how to improve that final 2 minutes of the game and that fourth quarter production. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls video in relation to that fourth quarter production. How can the Bulls maintain a lead, how the Bulls can proceed in the clutch, and how the Chicago Bulls can win close games, because we are competing. We are a team that competes with most teams. The difficult part of competing is when you don't win. And the Chicago Bulls have competed in a lot of games in these past 2 weeks, and have failed to get too many victories. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think the Chicago Bulls should be working on in the clutch to find and manage games to get victories. Like the OKC Thunder game last night, we should have won this game way before that fourth quarter, but at the end of the day, that third quarter and the fourth quarter, we allowed them to come back and send it to overtime. And the Chicago Bulls, with the poor game management down the stretch, the poor game management in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter and in overtime, the Chicago Bulls have once again failed to win in that game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, you might be thinking this is just a one-time scenario. Well, the fact of the matter is the Chicago Bulls have lost very, very tight affairs in numerous games this season. Starting with the Sacramento Kings, with the Chicago Bulls had the last shot of the game there and missed it. The LA Clippers, the Chicago Bulls had the last shot of the game there and missed it. The LA Lakers, the Chicago Bulls had the last shot there and missed it. And now, against the OKC Thunder, the Chicago Bulls had the last shot there and missed it. Now, despite that, we did have some victories in the clutch. Obviously, that Portland game, Zach LaVine had the last shot. The Chicago Bulls had the last shot in that game, or basically close to the last shot, the last meaningful shot for the Bulls, and we won the game. But the fact of the matter is, more often than not, the Chicago Bulls are losing games in the clutch. Now, why is that? Why is the Chicago Bulls failing to deliver when it matters the most? Because at the end of the day, you could say whatever you want. Majority of the NBA games, around 75 to 80% of the NBA games are close competitive games. You need to find a way, as a young team and as an experienced team, as a winning team, to find a way in the clutch to deliver in those big time moments. Now, the Chicago Bulls have one of the youngest, if not the youngest, starting lineup in the NBA, with Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Larry Marketing, Wendell Carter. All of them are in their 20s, except for Patrick Williams, who is 19. All of them in their early 20s, all of them are still very young and up-and-coming players, and a lot of them have a lot of work to do in terms of progressing their game to the next level. So in the end, the clutch is something that they need to work on. And here's the video that needs to be here for those players to learn. And at the end of the day, I'm no expert on the clutch. Hell, I've not really played a game where I've needed to be in the clutch. But regardless of that, this team and these players do have a lot of work to do. And a lot of it falls down on the shoulders of Zach LaVine, which is why I wanted to make this video out there. Because if you guys haven't noticed already, every single shot that we've won in the clutch and every single shot that we've lost in the clutch, Zach LaVine is the guy taking the shot. Zach LaVine took the shot against Portland. Zach LaVine took the shot against Sacramento. Zach LaVine took the shot against the LA Lakers and the Clippers. And he took the last shot twice in overtime and in the fourth quarter against the OKC Thunder. And look, Zach LaVine, is he our best player? Absolutely. Is Zach LaVine a franchise player? Once again, I've said this before, I believe Zach LaVine can be a franchise player. I believe he deserves that max contract. I believe there's been rumors that Zach LaVine wants financial respect from the Chicago Bulls. I think he's going to get that from them. I think Zach LaVine is more than capable enough to lead a team into a playoff run, and more than capable enough to maybe win a round here or two with other additions. Of course, it can't just be him. But the one thing that I've noticed about Zach LaVine, you could tell by the way that he's talking against the OKC Thunder, he is frustrated. He's frustrated with himself, he's frustrated with his team, and he's frustrated with that situation. Now, at the end of the day, the Bulls fans, we watch and we've seen the growth. Just because we blew a 22-point lead doesn't mean the Bulls haven't grown. Just because we lost another game to a decent OKC side that, once again, people fail to realize they are 6-6 right now. They have a better record than most of the people in the NBA. That doesn't mean that we haven't grown. But the Chicago Bulls need to learn to manage the leads. That's the first step to handling the clutch. If you're at a 22-point lead, you need to find a way to keep it around that mark. You cannot give up a 22-point lead at one quarter. Because the fact of the matter is, if we didn't give up that 22-point lead in the third quarter, we wouldn't need to worry about trying to find a clutch moment in the fourth quarter. That's the first thing. Get the job done early. Our swords were on their throat. We could either chop it off, end it here, game over, or we give them the second chance. We give them a sword, pick up a sword, and let's fight. And that's what we did. We gave them the opportunity, and they ended up backfiring on us. The Chicago Bulls should have handled this in the third quarter. As for most games, the Sacramento game stands out to me as well. We had the lead around 8 points in that third quarter. We should have managed that lead much better than what we did, but we gave up and we folded. Basically what Zach LaVine also said, we folded and we allowed Sacramento to come back and win that game. There are many, many reasons why the Chicago Bulls let that happen. First things first, bad shot selection. Now, I don't know where this comes from. I don't know if it's Zach LaVine just saying, give me the ball and I'll take you to the promised land, or if this is a set play, or if it's Zach LaVine going against the coach's order, whatever it is. That simply needs to stop. The fact of the matter is, nearly every single game that we've played over the past few days, we've had enough time on the shot clock to get a much better shot than what we have. We've taken shots way too early in the shot clock, and we've taken much more difficult shots with the time that we've had. There's been times we've had 20 seconds on the shot clock, and Zach LaVine is taking a contested three. There's been times where we've had 5 seconds on the shot clock, Zach LaVine's taking a contested fadeaway. We have time on the clock to make something happen. This is something that needs to change. The Chicago Bulls, I feel like, since they're such a young team, they rush into things. They rush into the fact that this is the fourth quarter. We need to make something happen now. We need to play hero ball. Give me the ball. I will take you there. I will take you to that promised land. No one else is going to be the guy to take the shot but me, and I'm going to do it the way that I want to do it. I think the Chicago Bulls need to understand that most good teams in the NBA do not just have one person taking the last shot of the game. And most people in the NBA, most teams in the NBA, take their time, they're calm, they're cool, they're collected, and they take the right shot with the right time. They don't rush into things. They don't rush into a shot that's heavily contested. They don't rush into a shot that's poor selection from them unless they're forced into that shot. And from what I understand, every single game that I've seen, the Chicago Bulls have had open men, have had pick and rolls completely successful to an open layup. We were not forced into any of these shots that we've taken. And that is something that we need to look at over the next few games to find that open man, to find the right play. Big time players make big time plays. Make the right play. Make the big time play. Doesn't necessarily have to be the last shot. Make the pass. Make the pass to an open layup. Make the pass to the corner. Another thing that does lead into this is trusting your teammates. I have a very strong feeling Zach LaVine doesn't trust his teammates. And that could go both ways here. For example, Garrett Temple, for 2 of those games, was open in the corner when Zach LaVine was taking that last shot. Now, I understand it's a big player mentality. He wants to be the guy in the clutch. He said it multiple times. He wants to be that guy to take the Chicago Bulls to the playoffs. He wants to be the leader. He wants to be the guy that succeeds with the Chicago Bulls. And he's frustrated with himself, in my opinion. But a lot of that needs to come with trusting your teammates. Garrett Temple has been in the league for so bloody long. And he is having a hot run of form in his shooting. He's shooting over 40% from the three-point line. I think he's our highest shooter from the three-point line. An open three for Garrett Temple in the corner, that's his spot. Trust him. Give him the ball. Give Thaddeus Young the ball with an open layup. That's Thaddeus Young's game, the pick and roll, the post. A lot of these situations, Zach LaVine is not trusting his teammates enough in the clutch because he wants to do it all himself. That is something that needs to change in my opinion. And again, I'm not trying to be critical of Zach LaVine. I feel like it's not all Zach LaVine's fault, which brings me to my last point of this video. Where is the help for Zach LaVine? That OKC Thunder game brought a lot to my attention because at the end of the day, a lot of the heat will go towards Zach LaVine. But who is helping him in the clutch? Who is it? It seems like especially the last shot in the fourth quarter. We're ball watching. We're giving it to Zach. We did one pick and roll and everybody stood there hoping Zach would make passes to someone to shoot for the three. We needed to that possession first of all. Where was the cuts? Where was the movement? Ball movement, player movement. Where was it? So I can't put it all on Zach LaVine's shoulders if no one else is willing to take the moment. Larry Markkinen at the three-point line. Otto Porter was the one that did the pick. I can't really blame him. But at the end of the day, he didn't move after that pick. Kobe White, not relevant. Where was he? No cuts to the paint, no open shots, no screens after the first one. Done. We gave it to Zach LaVine, double teamed, and he shot the ball. Because no one else wanted to take that moment. No one else really had the opportunity to take a shot. That falls on everybody else. Zach LaVine can't do it all himself. Zach LaVine needs help. This team is young. This team is up and coming. That is the big step. Zach LaVine needs help in the clutch. If you're just going to give it to him and just stand there, literally, just don't have them on the court. Just put Zach LaVine on the court because we all know it's going to go to him. Find someone to help him. Make the right play. But players outside of Zach LaVine needs to make the right movement for Zach LaVine to make the right play. That's why it's a team fault more than just Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is the last shot taker. Zach LaVine takes very tough shots. Zach LaVine rushes into his shots. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't have the teammates that help him consistently, he can't make the right play. So he has to force things up. And the same thing in overtime. Once again, with 5 seconds left on the clock, Zach LaVine has the ball. Zach LaVine is running full pace because we can't time out. Denzel Valentine, instead of going into the corner, maybe cutting into the paint because once again we needed a 2. We could have gone to second overtime instead of cutting. And this is every player. Zach LaVine runs full court. Denzel goes straight to him and just watches him right next to him, bringing a second player into the fold. Zach LaVine has to take a tough contested shot, double teamed, second in overtime, bricks it, we lose the game. We need to be better in the clutch. And I think this goes to Billy Donovan as well, because at the end of the day, he's talking about the growth of the players. He's talking about how this team needs to grow and find ways to fight through adversity. Well, right now, our adversity is the fourth quarter. Our adversity is managing leads, and our adversity is finding ways to win in the clutch, because we've competed with so many good teams and teams that are mediocre, and we still find ways to lose. We have to figure out those situations. We need to be in a set play in the last few seconds of the game. We need to find ways to get the right player, the right shot. We need to find ways to make the defense have to question, is it Zach LaVine taking that last shot? Maybe it's going to be Lowry. Lowry's the amazing three-point shooter. It could go to Lowry. Maybe if we are too naive, we leave Wendell open for a dunk. Maybe Kobe White, who granted did take a very clutch shot in the overtime period. Granted, once again, no one was moving. Kobe White had one pick and he shot. Not good enough. That is not good enough. If that shot bricks, we all blame Kobe White as well. But he made that shot. Regardless of that, we need to see more ball movement. We need to see more accountability on these players. And we need to see a lot of these players take those big shots. Take the right shot. Make the right play. And that is where I'm going to end this video here. Now, again, this is going to be targeted mainly at Zach LaVine. And I'm not trying to make it all Zach LaVine's fault. How can it be Zach LaVine's fault? At the end of the day, this dude has had damn near 35 points per game in the last 2 weeks. Where is the other players to step up? It's not like he's taking every shot. The dude's been averaging nearly 6-7 assists per game. Granted, the 6 turnovers last game. We need other players to step up and step up in the big time, not just step up in the entire game. When it matters the most, we can't have our players go missing. We need to find ways for those players to step up and to make the right play and to be involved in the clutch, because that's how this team's going to learn, from experience. Right now, we're experiencing the clutch and it's not being too nice to us. Hopefully over time, We will find a way for the Chicago Bulls to be more steady, to be more calm, and to be ready when the time comes, when the crunch time, the big time players, hopefully they'll be able to step up in the future. That game against Dallas, I hope we come close and I hope we can peak. 'Cause at the end of the day, the Chicago Bulls need to have some vengeance. I want that anger that Zach LaVine had in his press conference and other players and Billy Donovan, and take it to that Dallas game. Play angry. Play remorseful. Play a way where if we are losing by a considerable amount, you're frustrated, you're angry, you fight back. We need to see some fight in that game. And if we are blowing them away, look, we don't know how that Dallas game is going to go. At the end of the day, I'm questioning it just as much as anybody. That Dallas game, if we are winning by that much, we are winning by 20 or so, it's up to the Bulls to make sure that the Dallas Mavericks do not even have a sniff to come back. Let's see if they could do it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the Chicago Bulls versus Dallas Mavericks game reaction. I do have more videos to come. Now that we have a good idea of how the season is going for the Chicago Bulls, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about individual players. So let's see how that goes. Have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.